Greetings everyone and welcome to Nerd Scrolls. Today I'll be doing another one on my D&D 5th edition creating series, and this time we have created a zombie character. Now this can be quite interesting as not that many people look at the zombie role as an ideal character for a campaign, as sometimes they don't fit into every situation, they may not be appropriate for the campaign setting. Obviously you can't really be a heroic adventurer if you are a member of the undead society, so obviously it's not an obvious pick for every setting, but if you are playing a campaign where a zombie character would be fitting, or it may actually suit the role of the campaign, well then here is one for it. So I have gone and made a character called Farvin Dauterus, who is a wood elf, and he's also a zombie, so he's an undead wood elf. And I've kind of gone for a situation where his background is very linked to how he actually became a zombie. So his background is lone survivor, which is another homebrew background, same as the zombie class. It is a homebrew class, so don't try and go looking through your player's handbook to find this class, as it is on the D&D Homebrew Wiki website, which I will link in the description, and I will also link in the description the lone survivor background and the zombie class, so you guys can get to it quite easily. And so his background is the lone survivor, so his background comes from him waking up in this dire situation. So he's woken up on like a empty battlefield, or he's woken up in kind of like a disaster, and he is a zombie, so he doesn't know how he's gone there, he doesn't know what's happened to him, and he is the lone survivor of this situation. And so that tends into his personality and is basically his storyline. So I've customly made his personality traits, his ideals, bonds and flaws, as I kind of made one that seems fitting to him. So the way a zombie character works is you create your normal character, so I created a normal wood elf, and then after you've finished all of the attribute assigning, then you go onto the zombie class and then you assign their additional things. So as the zombie you lose -4 to your intelligence, so I did have an intelligence of 15, it's now gone down to 11. And then you get -2 to your wisdom and your charisma. So obviously I had a charisma of 11, and then I had a charisma of 8, charisma of 8, and a wisdom of 11, and then that went down appropriately. So it kind of affects it, as it says that your brain is rotted away, you have lost intelligence, you're not charismatic because you're dead, and then it kind of plays onto that. Your strength and dexterity and constitution stays the same, because obviously zombies have great constitution, because that's all about being alive, and you're dead, so that kind of plays into the fact that you're hard to kill. Same as when you fight the undead in D&D, if they drop to 0 hit points, they do a constitution saving throw, and then go back to 1 if they don't fail that. I think that's how it works, and basically you get that as you are playing as a zombie. And generally I think this is a very interesting class to play, so I've gone ahead and put all of the some of the attributes you gain as a first level undead. Some of them don't really need to be added, so obviously you get brain rot, which I just mentioned is decreasing on intelligence, wisdom and charisma. You also then, because you are undead, don't need to breathe, eat or sleep, which if you are a very intelligent D&D player and you are thinking of very creative ways of getting around situations, being a zombie is a very, very creative way of dealing with certain situations. Obviously you don't need to breathe, you could sneak into anywhere underwater because obviously you don't have to worry about breathing. You could literally just walk along the bed of that ocean, and just the bed of the ocean, the river, or anywhere you're trying to sneak into, and you wouldn't have to worry about any forms of spells or equipment to keep you from drowning. You wouldn't need to eat or sleep, which means you would be a great guardsman. You wouldn't have to worry about like sleep deficiency, exhaustion. You wouldn't need to eat, which means you would literally be one less mouth to feed, so that's saving on money. Literally, if you are thinking on really, really hard roleplay, really realistic, being a zombie is a very, very good role to pick if you're going on long journeys, or if you need to sneak into a fortress that's surrounded by a moat, or if it's a floating island in the ocean, or if it's literally anywhere that is surrounded by a defensive wall of water. And obviously you don't need to sleep, so you can just keep going without worry of exhaustion. You are immune to poison because you are dead, which means you don't have blood flowing through your veins, which means it's impossible for you to get poisoned. And then mreh, which is a very interesting way of describing a feature. So you understand languages that you knew when you were alive, but you can't speak them except through grunts and moans. And I think, as it says on the website, you can do a intelligence check So just a plain old intelligence check, and if you succeed you're able to say a sentence that's no less than 4 words, which means you can try and creatively get what you're trying to get out in 4 words, which is very entertaining. I think as you get higher up in levels you can then expand the word limit. But it's funny the way, even though you succeed, you can still only say what you want to say in 4 words, which means that you won't be saying anything poetic or Shakespearean with those 4 words. More like, look out, big boulder could be one of them, or look out, dragon, ouch, could be another one. It's a very creative way of getting your message across to your party members without being able to say lengthy descriptions or a good detail of what's attacking them. You'll have to try and shorten down everything you want to say, which is very creative. Your speed also gets shortened to 10, so you won't be doing that much movement in your turns. You can move a maximum of, like, if you're playing on a grid, you can move 2 squares, so try and do as much as you can with that. Luckily, as I said, when you drop to 0 you have to do the rolls and then get brought back to 1. You'd be a very good tanking character, or maybe even a distraction. So I'll give you a situation. You and your party members are breaking into a mercenary stronghold and they need to find a way to get around to another area without kind of being charged by the mercenary forces. So they send you, a zombie, into the main forces to soak up all the damage. Obviously you don't really need to do anything. You could swing at them and deal as much damage as you can without really the risk of death. Because you are a zombie, you don't have to worry as much about your health and your body as, say, a living person would have to. Which means you could literally stand there and let them pummel you with blows, or let them just fire volleys of arrows into you without much worry about your well-being, which I think is a very, very cool thing. So, going through all of the things, so I think this character that I've made isn't actually too bad. Very good in the dexterity department, lacking in strength and obviously lacking in charisma, intelligence and wisdom, so you won't be doing anything half as intelligent as your party members will be. But for a body that will be soaking up damage, and for something that may be dealing some damage, you will be a very fine member to a party. Pardon me. A very fine member to a party if all you're doing is standing there and soaking up damage. So the class comes with either a club or a great club or a club as your starting equipment, and a set of common clothes. So unfortunately you won't be having any armor to begin with, which obviously for this character isn't a problem. Trying to wield any martial weapons with proficiency or not, depending on what you did before you were dead, you have to roll with disadvantage because it's a martial weapon. You can't remember training, your brain is rotted away, so you do not understand any training or proficiency in any martial weapons. You can use simple weapons without having to roll with disadvantage. That's why they give you a great club or a club. So you literally have a slam attack as well. That's probably your most reliable, since my character has an attack of +3, so obviously that's the biggest roll you're going to be attacking with, and that is just described as flailing your arms about because you're a zombie. You don't understand, but just imagine having a zombie in plate armor and sending him charging towards a group of mercenaries, flailing his arms around like he is on fire, and watching him just smack people in the face. That is literally what you will be doing. Imagine one of those arms has a great club, or one of those has a club, and they're bonking people on the head as well. You'll be a very comedic member of the party, but you will probably get a lot done, and people will probably congratulate you for that. So that is basically the mechanics of the class dealt with. So looking more into my personality traits, so I have put as my character's personality trait, I'm still getting to grips with my new life. Being a zombie isn't as easy as it looks. I'm kind of going for a charismatic on the inside, whereas very horrible on the outside because of his undead personality. So he is a kind of one of those, imagine the character from Lonely Bodies, that zombie comedy film they made. Imagine that, where on the inside you kind of like talking to yourself, you self-monologues, that kind of thing. You're a very cool guy, but on the outside, meh, that's what you're really doing. That's quite cool. So for my ideals, I also picked for my guy to be chaotic good, because I want him to still be a guy who protects people. So for his ideals, I put protection. Even though I am now a zombie, I will protect the innocents. I think I protect, spell innocence right. So I want him to be someone who will look out for people, he will defend people. Hopefully with his looks he could defend the innocents if they're being attacked by raiders or bandits or anyone like that. They could just stand in the way and kind of act terrifying and scare him off. So hopefully that is quite a cool characteristic. For his bond, I put my family are my only bond. Oops. My family is my only bond. They accept me for what I have become. So I wanted the backstory to be really about, even though he has become a zombie, his family still accept him, so he feels very close to his family, as they're the only one who really accept him for what he now has become, which means it's a very kind of close relationship. And for his flaws, I've gone for the very obvious one. I find the taste of flesh delicious and struggle to control myself sometimes. So I've wanted him to also have the aspect of maybe if you put him in a tavern filled with people, he would not be able to control himself from having a little nibble on someone's finger, or their neck, or their head, or them. You. So, just, that is a cool characteristic. Further on down the class line, you can eventually deal more damage with your slam attacks. So if you were to get to level 20 as the zombie, you would literally be this badass undead character. Something along the lines of, like, I can't remember from memory any kind of fantasy media that has a really cool zombie character. Post in the comments if you can name any, but you'll be this very badass armored zombie character, and I think at level 16 you get the ability to eat small creatures' brains and then get that as temporary hit points. So you could literally, I think that also goes to medium as you go on, so you can imagine literally sending the zombie into a crowd of people, and the more he flails and the more he knocks down, I don't even think you need to kill him. Like, you could knock them down to the floor and then eat their brains and get that temporary hit points. You could continue to be a damage sponge, just soaking on all the damage and pushing forward. You could literally be one of the best items to put into a strategy ever. So that is the zombie class. Now I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If I've explained this well, leave a like and comment saying if I've explained this well, and if you do have any questions, then feel free to post it in the comments and I will read and respond to them as quickly as I can. I once again do apologise for being inactive for the last 3 weeks. I did explain in my Gary Gygax's birthday video that I was just relaxing due to the stress of school, but I am back now. I am back. I will not swear on this channel, I'm still trying to be family friendly. So I'm back, and this is one of the many good videos that will be released over the next few days. I'm going to try and post as many as possible. I've now kind of got my passion for video making again. I feel if you take too long a break, you kind of lose that passion. So I've got that passion again, I'm back in it, and I will now start producing more and more videos for you guys. I actually enjoyed making this one because I haven't made a character with a class I've never used before in a long time, and it's nice to just kind of throw one in there and see what sticks. So thank you for watching. If you like this, leave a like, comment and subscribe for more nerdy content. I will see all of you in the next video. Farewell, my friends.